What is up, my dudes? My name is Eric, and I made a thing. Welcome, friends, one and all. I appreciate you joining me for another build. Your time is precious, and I appreciate you spending some of that time with me. It makes me feel good right here in the fields. I'm going to try something a little bit different this time around. I'm going to try to do vlog style-ish. I think it would be more interesting to hear my perspective rather than me walk you through the step-by-step process. So I thought it'd be more interesting if we just had a little fireside chat, if you will. So a couple of years ago, my mother cut down a bunch of trees in her backyard, and me being the woodworker that I am, was like, no, leave those logs in the backyard. I'll do something with them. I haven't done anything with them until now. So I came up with a project that I could do in a day. And I decided I was gonna take a section of that log and carve a sculpture that she could put into her garden. I did a little bit of research, and friends, I can't stress enough how important research is. Everybody's just like, oh, just do a thing, just make things, just be crafty. Do your research. So I spent a good hour and a half trying to find images of exactly what I wanted this sculpture to look like. But I settled on a calla lily, and I did some research and found a few different images. I will put some here, maybe here, depending on where I'm located on the screen. I'm gonna go with here. So a little bit of advice that I can give you if you're going to attempt a project like this: moving logs by yourself is not an easy feat, turns out. They have some heft to them, so just be mindful of that. It's not impossible, just hard. Once I got that out of the way, then it was time to start working with the chainsaw. Now, a couple of notes. I know I'm not wearing any chaps or safety equipment. That one's on me, but for the majority of my adult life, I've been working with sharp, pointy things. So I'm perfectly comfortable with them. So just bear in mind, wear safety equipment. Don't be a chucklehead like me. Get some chaps. I do have earbuds in, so don't at me, bro. Otherwise, I should probably be wearing chaps, but we already covered that. So I'm gonna move on. So let's talk about the carving process for a little bit. Oh, it's good every time. Normally I work from a scale model, and this is what made this challenge particularly tricky for me. I usually make something small that I can work the larger form from. It does two things for me. One, it gives me practice actually carving the form to make sure that it's going to work in 3 dimensions, because not everything I have in my head is appropriate for a sculpture in the round. So I essentially came up with a 30-second drawing, which I wish I had to put on the screen for you. I do not, because I'm a chucklehead. Once I had my quick rendering, I kind of understood the front view, and then I had an image of the side view that I could see that profile on. So the carving process is fairly straightforward. You take your raw material and then you remove everything that doesn't look like the thing that you want to carve. There's a quote given to Michelangelo, but it wasn't Michelangelo. You know how those things work. Somebody asked him how he carved the David, and he simply replied, "It's easy. You just chip away the stone that doesn't look like David." I don't even care who said that. I do love that quote because it's so simple that just go carve a thing. Here's the thing, the first thing you carve is not gonna look like the David. Just accept that it's not gonna be great the first time around, and keep getting better and recognize what belongs and what doesn't belong. But that takes practice, so don't stop practicing. Whatever it is you're interested in doing, carving, woodworking, writing, singing, practice. So we remove most of the rough material that doesn't look like a calla lily, and it really is just giving me kind of guidelines. So once I finished the blocking with the chainsaw, it was time to move on to the next phase. Now, my general way of seeing these things is in 3 phases. You have the blocking phase, the shaping phase, which is where I start to hone in on the shape and you get to generally where you want it to be, and the finesse or finishing phase, which is actually where you get the detail in and you make it just look pretty and you want to touch it and hold it and finesse it and it's fun. But the next stage was the shaping phase, where I really started to focus on the shape of the form. I started to focus on the petals a little bit, and I started to bring in some of the detail that may or may not work. What am I even saying? I don't even know. I need coffee. In any case, the question is, why do I do this? Why should you do this? Well, A, if you want to do it, do it. But B, and more importantly, I really think that carving in the round helps you see the world in a different way that also affects the way that you design your furniture. For example, using the basic principles and elements of art, considering texture, considering line, considering movement. All of these things affect the way that you design pieces of furniture as well, because you start to get out of the idea of function. Does this drawer open and close? Is this hinge movement solid? And you think about, well, what happens if I actually touch this piece here versus here? What happens if I move the handle up 2 inches and it feels better when I open it? What happens when I run my fingers across the top of this box and there's a texture and it's interesting to me and engaging, and I stop and actually interact with this piece for a moment rather than just open the box, put whatever I want in it, and close it back up again. I want to make items that people are excited about interacting with and owning, and they make their world a little bit better. And having them stop and regard the item that they have in front of them, I think helps me do that. And so carving helps me continue to think about how people interact with things, because if you can stop and get a person to actually think about the thing that you made, whether they like it, whether they don't like it, that doesn't matter. They're interacting with the piece, and that's what's important. So that's why I carve things. I don't know that any of that actually makes sense or is applicable, but I just wanted to tell you why I carve things, because it's fun. So friends, thank you so much for watching, tuning into another video. I appreciate your time as always. It means so much to me. If you are interested in what I'm doing, please make sure you like and subscribe. That really helps me out, trying to grow this channel, trying to be able to do more videos for you. I'm gonna keep making things, and I just hope that you guys follow along, because it means the world to me that you support what I do. Check out what I got down below. See me over on Instagram if you wanna see what I'm doing up to date. And friends, I will certainly see you on the next build, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Peace. Coffee break. I went to school for furniture design and execution. What am I even saying? This is the point where I've had enough caffeine to actually function, but my brain is lagging behind because it's still the morning. So my body does things and my brain's like, yo dog, words, still difficult. This is why I'm good at teaching 6th grade, because I'm actually still a child.